a beautiful May 6, 2021. I'm in Newark Penn Station, but I'm not going to hang out here long. I'm going to go to New Brunswick in a little while, get some transit and Amtrak trains whizzing by. But we're going to catch train 5179 en route from New York to Highbridge. He'll be transitioning from electric to diesel operation with his ALP 45 DP. Well, here he comes, arriving from Penn Station, New York, train 5179, one of those few through trains on the Raritan Valley line. Got his ALP 45 DP with his pantograph up.
The next train on track 2
gonna go down
is Amtrak 302 bound train number 176 to Worcester. And you stop from New York, New Rochelle, Stanford, Bridgeport, New Haven, Old Saybrook, New London, Euston, Kingston, Providence.
You should see him drop his pantograph. From here on, it's diesel all the way to Highbridge. Transition complete. You heard him start his diesel engines before he dropped the pantograph.
Red captain information, move with the wheelchair. Red captain information, move with the wheelchair.
You can hear the engine going through its gyrations in the transition. Amtrak 176 to Boston, 303. Well, you saw why the New Jersey Transit got those locomotives, so they could run in electric and diesel territory, and you got to see one transition from electric to diesel. 6:38 p.m. We just got off train 3937 on its non-stop run from Newark to here, New Brunswick, New Jersey. As that train heads off to Trenton. Its next stop is Jersey Avenue, Maine. New Brunswick Station is located in downtown New Brunswick, New Jersey. Looking towards New York. Get a great view of trains coming north and south from the southbound platform or westbound platform, depending on how you look at it. On the high-speed Northeast Corridor, served by trains to and from Jersey Avenue and Trenton on New Jersey Transit, and whatever the Northeast Corridor has to offer in the way of Amtrak trains comes through here, between Boston and Philadelphia, Washington, and other points. Trains zip through here at 100 miles an hour plus. And New Brunswick is the home of Rutgers University. A lot of historic buildings on the campus here. A long overlooked university, but it's gorgeous. New York bound train at 3:50. New York bound express. This is indeed a busy railroad line past the campus. A lot of history here. It's not just the trains that are attractive here in New Brunswick. Kind of reminds me of a smaller version of Yale University. Back when I was a youngster in Penn Central days, I used to come to this station quite a bit. Used to watch GG1s crashing through with high-speed passenger trains, as well as double-headed GG1 haul freight trains, E44 haul freight trains, Arrow MUs, Silverliners from Bud. They occasionally went through here. And I distinctly remember on track 1, whenever a train approached the station from the south on that track, an alarm bell would go off. That would last until the train passed. Well, back in Penn Central days, there were low platforms here. And one thing I neglected to mention, which is definitely worth mentioning, are the sights of the frequent MP54 MUs I would see, painted in Tuscan red with the Pennsy keystones on them. They were quite frequent back in those days before they retired them. And I'll never forget the sound of those things when they started up. Once the engineer engaged power, you heard this deafening grinding sound of the traction motors. Buzzing, grinding, it almost sounded like the traction motors were going to burn up, and then the train would rapidly accelerate. Never forget that as long as I live. And here's train 3858 from Trenton to New York, departing on track 1 at 4:06. Shortly he'll be crossing over the Raritan River Bridge. Next stop for him will be Edison. As you can see, standing on this platform, you get excellent lighting and excellent views in both directions. Well, here comes 3853 for Trenton at 4:09. Track number 4. And whizzing by at 4:11 was train 42, the Pennsylvania route from Pittsburgh to New York. The station here at New Brunswick definitely deserves mention. This structure was built in 1905 when they elevated the tracks through here. It's of the colonial revival style, similar to the station at Chester, Pennsylvania, and also somewhat similar, although that's a one-story building, to the station at Alexandria, Virginia, the Amtrak station. The lower level is street level, and the upper level is where you board the trains on the platform. Well, here's train 3855 for Trenton, stopping in New Brunswick on track 4 at 4:34. Station here is within a canyon of buildings, quite a bit of development around this town. Robert Wood Johnson Medical Center is here also. Well, I'm back on the southbound side of the platform station. Get better visibility here. Train 651 from New York to Harrisburg passed a little while ago, but I was on the opposite side, and visibility is not quite so good on that side. But you'll see a photo of the train passing the canyon of buildings here. I saw that one coming. That was Amtrak 94 for Boston by at 4:45. As you can tell, New Brunswick is a speedway for Amtrak trains, but you can't overlook these series of New Jersey Transit 3900 series trains. Those are rush hour trains that run from New York to Trenton, and they usually run non-stop from Newark to Princeton Junction, so they'll be zipping right through. We'll see several of those 3900 series trains. Well, at 4:50, here comes the first of those expresses to Trenton. Next stop, Princeton Junction. This is train 3943. We'll be in Princeton Junction about 10 or 12 minutes. Those are some of the fastest commuter trains in the United States. Well, here comes train 3721 for Jersey Avenue at 4:59. Got 2163, the Acela for Washington due. He's running very late today due to police investigations up around Norwalk, Connecticut on Metro North. 163 just rocketed by behind this guy. That's one of the dangers of rail fanning at this place. Being shoved by one of the ALP 46s, the early models. Yeah, that's a problem here with some of these trains. I got partially doubled by 42 of 42. I missed 651 altogether, and I totally missed out of Acela. We have a New York bound train at 504. Sounds like a steam engine. Pretty soon, New Jersey Transits will be getting EMUs that look like those double-decker cars. They'll replace the Arrow MUs when that happens. Well, at 504, here comes Amtrak 129 en route from New York to Washington. Hey, I'm trying to cajole these engineers into blowing their horns. This guy certainly did. Got some Arrow MUs coming in at 513. We got a Railfanette here. You should be blowing that AA2 horn for the platform. Trenton bound. Unfortunately, when that Jersey Arrow pulled out, I missed a couple of Amtrak trains. Southbound, who's chasing that Arrow, was 93 from Boston to Norfolk, and the northbound was 2270 from Washington to Boston. Missed both of them. Oh well. You have to be alert in this place. New York bound train, he isn't stopping. 524. Right away, here comes train 3947, New York to Trenton. This is one of those express trains. We have a New York bound New Jersey Transit train parting, and here comes train 173 from Boston to Washington. He's over an hour late, this guy, due to that police investigation. He's slowing down for no apparent reason. She's excited about this arrow going north to New York. 533. Always nice to see those. Here comes train 3949, another one of those express trains at 5:39. He's flying. Those are very impressive trains. Here comes 653 from New York to Harrisburg. And here we got some more southbound arrows arriving at 547. Train 3165 for Jersey Avenue. Next stop and last stop. Jersey Avenue station is on the old Millstone branch. And approaching New York bound at 5:58 should be train 3898. It's an express, runs from Trenton to New York, but it runs non-stop from Princeton Junction and Newark Airport. It's like he's got comets. Crossing the Raritan River Bridge. Should have a couple of Amtraks due. 193 from New York to Washington and 652 from Harrisburg to New York. Oh, here comes 193 now. New York, Washington at 6 o'clock on the dot. See if I can get a horn out of this guy. Some of these Amtrak engineers aren't very cooperative. At 6:06, here comes train 652. Harrisburg to New York. He's running on the local track. Maybe he stops here. Some Amtrak trains do. Here comes Amtrak 652 from Harrisburg to New York at 6:06. He stops here at New Brunswick. Got that Metroliner cab car. Dead giveaway that this is a Keystone train from Harrisburg. Train 3953, another one of those express trains. Next stop, Princeton Junction. Here he goes for New York. Heroes arriving at 6:28. We have a New York bound train departing with double deckers. Train 3727 for Jersey Avenue. Quite a lot of people are getting off of these trains. Signs that the pandemic is coming to an end. Well, at 6:32, here comes train 2169, the Acela from Boston to Washington. At 6:37, here comes our last New Jersey Transit Express. 3957. He's got an approach limited. He'll probably be going over to Ford County, interlocking. He's definitely slowing down. County interlocking is just up ahead. Smell that brake shoe smoke. My goodness. As we look at the canyon of buildings surrounding the tracks here, an LED light approaching rapidly New York bound is train 178 en route from Washington to Boston. 178 is really dogging it through here. Not sure what's up with this guy. Well, it's the last train I'll see here.